Welcome to Peaceful Streaming. So I'm continuing on with the birthday update, which gave us these 3 new jobs. So I think I'm going to do the same thing I did the first time. I'm going to do some of the steam locomotive, then the mini golf course, and then the fountain. I keep hoping I'm going to finish with this locomotive, but it's actually really difficult. I mean, I could use cleaner and everything, and I have used it a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not in a huge rush because, like, this is it. We've got these 3 jobs, and then presumably, given the time period in between in the past, it's probably going to be 2 to 3 months before we get more new stuff. So I'm not in a huge hurry. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, you can see, this is this is not easy. This is part of the problem. Part of the problem is the dirt is not like coming off really easily. But another part of the problem is, I don't know how to describe it really well. Just a lot of stuff is blocked, and you've got all these spokes that are getting in the way and stuff like that. And I have to say, I haven't really dealt with this before, this exact type of thing, because it's like no matter what angle you take, it's still difficult. I mean, I don't mind because, I like the challenge. It's just that this is something new. I'm going to mute because of the phone. Okay, so it took a while for someone to pick up. My husband has trouble moving because he really needs to get like a new hip, I think, new knees. So he's a little slow. Oh, don't tell me no one picked up. And that thing is answering. It's like, okay, I realize you're having some mobility issues right now, but you're 3 feet away from the phone. We're just under a lot of stress because of the problem with my son's medication. So, as you can see, this is definitely tricky. I'm glad they saved this until the end. Like, not the end. Oh, God, I hope it's not the end. But didn't make it an early job because it's definitely tricky. I mean, I could use cleaner and just like blast everything, but and again, like you can see, if you get a certain proportion or certain percentage done, it will automatically finish it. So even if you can't get to like the really, really tough stuff, as long as you've gotten most of it, then although I would like to be able to regulate that so I can decide if it's going to auto finish. I know I saw something in the patch notes about auto finish, but it sounded like it was more like warnings you get if it's going to auto complete it, auto finish, auto complete, whatever. So I'd like that. And I also would like to be able to change the color that shows the dirt when you do the tab, because when some stuff is yellow, it's really hard to see it. Yellow in the sunshine. Like the some of the stuff in the fairground or entertainment, whatever it was, carnival. That, okay, I think I need the step ladder for this because that's just slightly. The ladder, the problem is it blocks the rungs of the ladder can block your ability to, yeah. So the step ladder raises me up just enough to get this area. I think I'm getting it. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of it. So I have to move it now. Yes, I still see some stuff. It's just, I'm not really sure. I guess I just keep going around and just keep blasting it. See, like now I'm too low, so I think I need to go down one crouch. So the boiler, so that's, oh, see, yeah, it's just, okay, so the wheel well panel is done. Okay, there's still some up there. That's the run board. Finally, I can watch a stream of you again. I'm really glad you're here. I am just, I love this game. It's so chill. There was one job I did that wasn't like a part of it wasn't chill. It was driving me insane. It was the tree house, and there was a tiny bit of dirt left on, like, it was like an overhang or something like that. And I think it literally was like 20 minutes of me trying to find this little piece of dirt, and I was really frustrated. And the weird thing is, it didn't autocomplete, even though sometimes it does it when I don't really need it to. So, but other than that, it's really chill, and it's just so weird. I think I had mentioned the other day, when my son first started, the first time my son played it, he went for like 2.5 hours. I was like, oh my God, you're still playing it? He's like, I just can't stop. And I was like, right? Totally. It's like, it's just so cool. Okay, so now I'm like finishing everything because I was like just at that point. Yeah, there actually are a lot of jobs, and although I should know how many, but it's not just that. So one thing that's good is there are a fair number of jobs, but also they're all different. So you learn certain things, to handle, complicated stuff that can help you across like many different kinds. But then you also have to, modify your approach sometimes because the jobs are different. So, you get some that are pretty standard, like houses and things like that. But then you get, for instance, there's a fairground. I'm not sure. It might be called something different because I think, excuse me, different from what I'm used to, because I think this is a British developer, and so some of the terms are different for me. But so you get several different rides and attractions. So you get the merry-go-round, the Ferris wheel, I forget what it's called. It's one of those long, like really big slides that twists around, like spirals down. I forget what it's called now. And then a fortune teller's wagon. So you just get some really unusual stuff that keeps things interesting. The subway station, that was cool, although because I have claustrophobia, it was not my favorite. Um, and like anyone who doesn't have claustrophobia, I'm sure is sitting there going, "It wasn't real, you idiot." And it doesn't matter because it's in my brain, so I can feel claustrophobic in a virtual atmosphere. So I totally understand the confusion, but yeah, you can still feel claustrophobic if you're not actually physically, uh, in a underground or tight space. So, and I have a good imagination, unfortunately, sometimes. Yeah, I have to tell you, this is also what this is also really great for is it is so good. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing everyone will feel this way, but when I was really stressed out in the fall, I was stressed out because just different reasons. We had a new vice chancellor starting, and that gave me a lot of work. And I was doing two jobs. At one point, I was doing two jobs, two full time jobs, and for like 6 weeks or so. And so I was incredibly stressed out. So what I do at lunchtime is I do this, and I always felt better. So it's also like a good anti-anxiety tool to help you just just chill out. And there are some really cool things like the Mars rover. I mean, that's probably just the nerd in me. I just think it's a cool. I think I've done it like 3 times. It's just like the coolest thing. Um, and so there are fun jobs. There are different vehicles. Um, and also, so you level up as far as like the tool you can buy. So you can buy a more and more powerful PowerWash, or like the main part, and then you also have access to different cleaning fluids for different surfaces. The only problem is that they the stock is limited in the store, so you need to think about, okay, am I going to use this all on this job? Because it takes a little while for it to come back in stock. So you have to do a little bit of strategy, because like, if you use it all up, for instance. Yeah, it's really it's funny because I'm old. I'm 59, and so a lot of people my age and even like up to 20 years younger, when I talk about gaming and like how this can be really calming, they'll just look at me like, "Huh?" Because I think the fact that it's more interactive than just sitting there like watching TV or a movie or something. I think because we have control over the situation, I think it's really different, and anyone who hasn't done any gaming can't really understand that it's a different level of interactivity, and it really can affect your mood. So it's, yeah, I mean, it really, I mean, I have other things I do like listen to sound meditation. Breathing stuff never works for me, but like sound meditation works really well for me. But this always just, I don't know, there is something. It's like that whole strangely satisfying, or is it strangely satisfying? Oddly satisfying, that's what it is. Like I can't tell you why, but it really is. It's like playing The Sims, and in or another game that it's like a sim, and like your own house in real life may be a complete disaster, but it's so much easier to do all that stuff in the game, and you feel like you've accomplished something even though you like haven't really. But it just, I don't know. As I said, it's just one of those things that like a lot of people I talk to are like, A what? A, a game? What's a simulation? I mean, and I've told people about this game, and they're like, Power Wash Simulator. And I have to admit, when I first play or saw it, I was like, what? That's oddly specific, you know. And I think I just decided to buy it. I don't think I saw anyone playing it. So, and I've been like really, really glad that I bought it. It's just been satisfying and fun and calming. And when I'm having one of those days when I'm really, my brain, like I've been working a lot, or um, for some other reason I'm tired, I had insomnia the night before, my brain just isn't like really 100% there. Um, and I'm just not up to like doing house flipper or something where I really have to think about what I'm like, designing, what stuff to use. This is a great game to play because, as I said, there's a little bit of strategy, but for the most part, you can just zone out and it's fantastic. And my son and I did I think actually on Christmas Day, we did our first co-op stream. And so that was fun. In fact, he's about to go get his haircut. I'm going to see if I can nab him and ask him if he wants to do one tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, the co-op is fun. And I don't know. I think it's a really good game. I think they did a really nice job with it. And I have very, very few like quibbles with it. It's very polished, and they just really did a nice job. He's because he's working, so I stream every night. I don't have a long commute. Like when I do go into work, I don't have a long commute. He's got a long commute. He leaves at like 7:15 in the morning. And and gets back, and then he gets back at like various times. But he still has this like 45-minute commute each way. So he's really, really tired when he gets home, and he doesn't feel like talking. So he doesn't do streaming generally during the week. Like sometimes he does, but he then he streams occasionally on the weekends. But he's got like so much other stuff going on. Like he does D&D, he does like VR stuff. He there's a group of people he does stuff with on Friday and Saturday nights, and so he's got a lot of social stuff, and I have no social life. So he does stream, but it's like he doesn't schedule it, and and so he doesn't have a schedule, and it's more erratic than mine, because I'm lucky enough that I just don't have the same logistical challenges or challenges to my time that he does. So but I mean, he wants to do more, but he just it's tough when he's got that commute and everything. So, and he's prioritizing his IRL social life. Oh, hey, honey, just I want to ask you a question. Um, okay, so yeah, so we may do a co-op stream tomorrow. Um, he was keeping me honest. He was like, "Yeah, weren't we gonna do filming like for our YouTube channel?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we were. We have a lot of subscription boxes, Tone Box. Um, they've been piling up because I've been going through, like, the last few months. I've been going through a pretty relatively bad depression. So we normally do unbox Buddy Box, and we've like 6 of them. It's really, really embarrassing. So we have a lot to do. So he's totally right. Um, yeah, it's like it's funny because I've seen for years people putting down video games, and it's what's funny is their parents probably put down TV, and the generation before put down like comic books, and I'm sure there's probably when radio came out, the older generation was like people are just sitting around doing nothing and just listening. They're not getting, they're not socializing, or they're just sitting there like zombies or something. So it's all like this just happens all the time, and the only constant is that the older generation doesn't have any idea what this new technology is, and they don't even try to figure it out. So um it's just they there are some people my age who are interested in video games and play them, but it's it's weird how few there are to me. It's weird to me. I don't get it because I just think, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. It hasn't improved much, the number of people who play. I would have thought by now there would be more people, but I get out there and I talk to people I work with, and they're just like, "Oh, you play video games?" And I'm like, "Yeah, have been for a while." Oh, yeah, that would be great. Yeah, because it's fun. It really is. So I think we always stream it on his channel. Because, well, for one reason, because he does swear, and that so um, yeah. So I don't really want the stream on my channel. I'm not blaming him for swearing because, to be honest, um, when he was younger, before I realized that it was a bad idea, when he was really young, before he started talking, I used to swear a lot more, and yeah, then his first word was a swear, so I had to like stopped. So I have like absolutely no leg to stand on as far as that, but I don't want it on my channel. So I want to, my channel to be as family friendly as possible. So, like I said, it's like no judgment. It's just, it is what it is. So, but yeah, so yeah, he's the his nickname, or his stream name, his stream channel. I'm like, what? I don't know. What am I talking about? So he's the meme queen, TheMeemQueen, and I think I can't remember. Am I pointed to it? I should put it on the front page of my channel. And he talks about, he talks about a lot of stuff. I mean, it's really good for people who, especially people his age who maybe aren't as are having problems with mental health and don't quite know where to go with it. And I found it's really good generally, preferably someone around your age talking about it and saying, hey, this is how you get help and stuff like that. So he definitely, fills a purpose. Yeah, so it's like it's the meme queen, but he spells meme MEEM, because I guess he probably couldn't get MEME. So, and his icon logo, whatever you want to call it, is a crying cat. He's so funny. He loves cats, so his it's always been like most of his stuff has always been a cat of one kind or another. But yeah, I mean he plays a really wide variety too, so that also is one reason that it's like he'll stream a bunch of different things. So I tend to stream more the simulator stuff. So it's easy kind of for people to know what they're going to get my channel, and he is just a real wide variety. So, and he definitely plays more first person shooter and stuff like that. Oh, you found him? Yeah. Um yeah, so I mean he was playing Elden Ring recently. He was playing, what was he playing? There was something I'm drawing a blank. Elden Ring. Oh, Metal Gear Solid, I think, maybe. So he does. I rarely do first person shooters because I'm horrible at them. I'm like, my hand eye coordination is just really, really bad. So, so yeah, but he does a lot of VR stuff. I don't think he streams a lot of it. He does it a lot off stream, but I think I'm trying to remember. He was doing Skyrim VR. I think I'm going to switch to the next job. Because even 2%, that could take a while. So he was streaming Skyrim VR recently. And, but I don't, oh no, he's playing Skyrim VR. I'm not sure if he was streaming. So, but he talks about his mental health struggles. And can I not change this? I have no, I don't. So this is odd. I wonder if this is going to be an early. This must be then an early. Or if you're doing it, and if you were starting from the beginning, this is going to be an early special job. So that's why I have this crummy older one. The golf course is going to be later, I think, because when I start that one, then I'm using my pink. My pink. Can I change it to the pink one? I don't think I can. I don't go in here enough to know. I don't think I go in here, do I? No, I should be able to go in here, right? Clothing. Oh, okay. Oh, no, it's not the clothing. Yeah, I guess I can't change the skin on it. Oh, well. Anyway. So, yeah, actually, like during the pandemic, it was a lifesaver for him to live stream. I'm not live stream, for him to stream, because he was really, it was like since he wasn't going to school, he wasn't seeing his friends because he couldn't. So in like the summer of 2020, he started streaming, and it just was like a really big help for him. So yeah, I mean it was a big help, and he really likes doing it. It's just that he's not actually home as much as he used to be. So yeah, it is. It's really, see, I got diagnosed with depression in 1990. And at that time, no one talked about it. And if you had asked me then, because people did start to talk about it, if you'd asked me then, are people gonna, what do you think in like 40, it hasn't been 40 years, has it? Let's just say 30 years. I'm really bad at math. Yeah, so it's been like 32 years. What do you think is going to be the case like in 2020? And I would be like, oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to be, it's got to be people have to be much more open about it than they are now. And I think people are more open, but I definitely wouldn't use the word much, I think. So it's kind of disappointing, and there's still, it's like, so I would talk like, so I just started a new job, and I I haven't talked about having my depression or multiple sclerosis. But if I was going to choose which one I'd be more comfortable talking about first, it would be the multiple sclerosis, which is just sad. I mean, it's just it's just really sad. But yeah, um, it definitely is taboo. And what he and I also talk about, like on our YouTube channel and our TikTok, he says I'm not supposed to say TikTok channel. I'm supposed to say TikTok account is also suicide, because that is really taboo, and the fact that it is and people don't talk about it is one of the things that contributes to people actually committing suicide. So it's like if we could be more open about it, and then people who are feeling suicidal would be more comfortable in talking to someone saying, hey, these thoughts are like really bad, instead of feeling ashamed, or, all the other misconceptions are about suicide. Like, you know, people are worried that if they ask someone, are you suicidal? Then it's going to put the idea in their head and then they're going to act on it. It's like, no, no, it really isn't. So like, and this is something that we've talked about, so I'm not revealing any confidence. So my son has always been suicidal when he's depressed, and I never have been. And it's just one of those quirks of chemistry. So, um, there you have two people. I probably, he probably has depression because of, genetically, I gave him those that susceptibility, and he's always like, "Thanks, mom." Um, but still, we don't have exactly the same experience. So we talk about it all the time. We talk about talking to other people about it. We talk about asking someone about it if you think that they're suicidal, because it's just one of those things that, like, silence kills. And what's really weird is that apparently, now I don't think this was the case. Like, this was the case before, not before I was born, but before I was really aware of stuff. People used to talk about cancer in whispers, like it was something shameful, or like it's really weird. When I found that out, I was like, "What? Are you kidding? What's shameful about that?" I mean, people were never like that about diabetes, right? I assume. I don't know. It's like people are weird, um, and more social mores are weird, you know. So, oh wow, yeah, that's wonderful. That's a great boss. What the? Yeah, I mean that's the problem. It's Well, of course, I got fired 3 weeks after I was diagnosed with MS. So, for like a really bogus reason, a ridiculous. Well, actually, he didn't even have a reason. But yeah, I mean, it's the problem is when you're and like that doesn't exactly help. So like, it did not exactly help your situation for your boss to be doing that. That's just wow. What a horrible human being. I mean, what an absolute horrible human being. But I assume you guys must have some laws about that, right? I mean, hopefully. I mean, granted, the problem is, at least in the US, a lot of the laws don't apply to small businesses. Um, so, because they don't want to place undue burdens on small businesses for in different ways. Um, so the problem is, though, that in those companies, people are allowed to just um, really abuse the employees. So, like the place I was working at, it had been passed down in the family, and this guy just was kind of like a, just king of his own little kingdom. So, wow, I just can't believe. But see, there's a big difference between dealing with a jerk boss when you're dealing with a physical illness and dealing with a jerk boss when you're dealing with mental illness, you know? So, wow. Although I remember when, when I got the diagnosis, I was very, very, in the beginning, I had trouble walking. My balance was really, really poor. I had like a blind spot on my left side where I couldn't see, it was like blank, so I couldn't see. I was bumping into stuff. I still do to some extent. So he and the HR woman, when I came back to work, were like, so, we're obviously going to keep this quiet. And I was like, hell no. I don't think I said hell no, but I was like, no, 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 because here's the thing. People will see me staggering around, and I'd much rather they know that I have multiple sclerosis than think I'm drunk or something. So I have absolutely no problem. I said, I'm going to be talking about it. So it's not taboo as far as I'm concerned, you know. Um, I'm just reading your thing before I, wow. Um, so yes, the first year was rough. The first year and a half, um, I had well, in the very beginning, I had vision. My blurry vision. My left side was a little more than a little. It was numb. I had balance problems. I had trouble walking. I had extreme muscle fatigue. I had extreme like just plain fatigue where I was exhausted, not like sleepy, but just like I just it was hard to move around. So that got better. Um, but and I'm really lucky. I mean, I'm definitely not complaining, but I've just learned to, it's like one thing that bothers me occasionally is I really cannot even remember what it's like to have energy. So I'm like tired all the time, and it kind of sucks. But again, I was extremely lucky because, um, where's my ladder? Because, I was diagnosed. Oh, okay. I was diagnosed literally like a year or less than a year after the medication for MS hit the market. Where are my ladders? Oh, they oh my God, that's embarrassing. Um yeah, I mean I'm extremely lucky. Okay, so I that's not going to be helpful. Um yeah, so I'm very lucky. I'm definitely not complaining. Can I just put this down because this is like, no, apparently not. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's been, it was in 2000, fall of 2000. So I've been living with it a while, and it's kind of like it is what it is. So I'm just very grateful that when it happens, the medicine was already like on the market, and if it weren't for that medicine, I'd probably be in a wheelchair by now. So I'm definitely very, very grateful more than anything. But yeah, I mean, I have symptoms. Although I'll be honest, I herniated a couple discs in 2011, and that in some ways is more um, affects my life more than the MS does. So they're probably about on par. Lost cat Ulysses, very fluffy. Please call the mayor. I thought the mayor had skipped town. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. The mayor maybe hadn't skipped town if this is going by a progression. Okay, so I don't have my step stool, it looks like. That's a little weird. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, so when I got diagnosed, I was in the hospital, and I'm trying to remember. So what happened is I actually fell off. There were a couple different things that happened, but ultimately what sent me to the hospital was I was at the chiropractor's, and I had to get onto the table, and I was wearing this a skirt, a long skirt, and I I somehow missed the table and fell on the floor. And because I fell on my left side, which I didn't know this at the time, but because I had the paralysis, I couldn't push myself up, so they had to help me up. And they were like, so the chiropractor was like, I'm gonna go get the head of the practice. I was like, okay. And so that the head doctor chiropractor came in and they were talking to me and they were like, you really need to go to the hospital. So I was like, well, okay. My husband, well, he wasn't my husband then, but I, I'll get home and then see what's what. And so I told my husband, when I got home, I was like, hey, a couple weird things have happened over the last few days, and I just like fell at the chiropractor's and I couldn't get up. And so his late father was an ophthalmologist, an eye surgeon. And so my husband called his late father's partner, who is still alive. And he was like, yeah, you need to go to the emergency room by noon tomorrow at the latest. Because I was 30. How old was I? Oh my God. I'm trying to remember now. I think I was 38. And the problem is, at that age, the options are tumor, stroke. I mean, the likely options, they told me, were tumor, stroke, or MS. And I was like, I didn't know anything about MS. And I was like, okay. So anyway, they did tests. And then the doctor told me, by the way, MS is not fatal. You would die of old age with MS because of the medications. I was like, okay. So they did the tests. And then because we weren't married, my husband couldn't stay in the room when the doctor talked to me about I should just start doing this one a little. Talk to me about the diagnosis. So he talked to me and I was like, well, okay. He said, yeah, it's MS and we have medicine and we'll set up an appointment. I was like, okay. So, so I guess he went out in the hall and said to my husband, we're a little concerned that she might be having a psychotic break. And my husband was like, what do you mean? He said, well, she's just too calm. And my husband said, no, that's her. that's just, how she deals with stuff. And so the doctor was like, okay, well, if you're sure that she's okay, we can have her see someone. And my husband was like, well, I'll talk to her about it, but I think she'll be fine. But then when we got in the car, my husband said, well, so if you've been holding it in because you didn't want to make a fuss or something, this is your time. You can like cry, scream, hit the dashboard, say it's not fair. And I was like, well, that's really not going to help anything. So, I'm good, thanks. And the way I guess, I mean, I heard of people who like cried for, like one woman who cried for weeks when she was diagnosed. So yeah, it sucks. But I mean, like getting upset doesn't change anything. It is what it is. It's like, I think I've cried like maybe twice out of frustration when I dropped things because I started, like dropping things obviously a lot more. And so I got, frustrated. And I think there were a couple times when I cried because I just was like so frustrated at, at this stuff happening. But I don't know. I'm very pragmatic and I just didn't feel like, I felt like sure, I can get all upset and feel sorry for myself, but like, it's not going to change anything. So why bother? I don't know. I'm not sure if this makes a whole lot of sense, but that's I like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I've just been luckier than other people. I mean, I do have a fair amount of symptoms. Like right now, I have this is really sounds really strange if you don't understand. I have I have first aid tape on both feet, binding like 3 of my toes together on each foot because one toe on each foot. I'm not sure it's not really the toe, but this tendon on the bottom of my foot will start like shortening and yanking my toe up. So if I bind that toe to the other 2 toes, then it can't move, and then I don't get that yanking of the tendon on the bottom of my foot, which is very painful. So I have that, and then I also have kinesio tape on my back because what happens is I get um, knots in my back, like the muscles just like start knotting up for absolutely no reason. So I'll get these knots on my back. If we slap the kinesio tape on early on, then it stops it right away, and then my muscles aren't sore for like days. But I used to be in just excruciating pain when this happened, and then I don't know, one good thing came out of having the herniated discs, and that was um that I found out about this. So, because of from the physical therapist. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, I just, yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to just, it's like, okay, well, this is my life now. It is what it is. I mean, it's just like, I'm just going to deal with it. This is the new normal. It's not going to change. Yeah, that would be great. My husband keeps saying, "Oh, I'm willing to bet that they'll find a cure for MS in your lifetime." I'm like, "Dude, first of all, I'm 59. I'm not really sure about that." But sure, that would be nice. That would be nice. Actually, it would be nice if they could find a medication that could suppress that action of my immune system without suppressing my entire immune system. I would kind of settle for that. That would make me happy. But you know what? If it does, if they do, they do. That would be fantastic. If they don't, they don't. You know? I mean, oh my God. That's how is he doing? See, this is why I'm saying I feel lucky because and that's why I was not freaking out at the diagnosis because he had already told me it's not terminal. There's no way. Which actually wasn't strictly true because we didn't know at that point if it was the rapid kind. But so how's your fiance doing? Ugh, God. What do they think the prognosis is? Wow, God, every 2 weeks? Oh my God. Poor guy. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to the mini golf. God, that sounds painful. My dad has his like moles and other things cut out it used to be once a year, but he's very pale and he's very um like he's my stepdad. He's very waspy, pale skin, green eyes, stuff like that. So, yeah. I love having him as my father, but I'm glad I don't have those genes. I'll be honest. Yeah. Well, so the good thing, obviously, is, the good thing is that they are catching it much earlier than, he's catching a lot earlier than some people. Some people just don't take stuff seriously and then it's too late. So, oh, I'm so sorry. I know that's very, very stressful. But yeah, I mean, it's really good that he's getting it taken care of. I mean, there was one guy. Who was that? There was someone. Oh, okay. So this is one of these weird things. I cannot tell you who this was. It was like someone's father. He lived in like Arizona or something. He drove, which is very, very sunny. So he drove to work every day, obviously. um, so his ear was in the sun like I think she said it was morning, and then obviously the opposite in the afternoon. And he got skin cancer on that ear, but didn't like pay it. Like he didn't. I don't think he knew what the signs were and stuff like that. So he died because they didn't get to it in time. Because he just was like one of those old macho type, old school. Never go to a doctor. Never, just like it's like U.S. United States expression is like tough it out. So like basically just be a macho guy and um don't complain, don't go to the doctor unless you're like bleeding from a million places and stuff like that. So unfortunately, that's a you know pretty common attitude. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, I hope they do. Well, what are they doing to find the other ones? I mean, so with that, I know that visual inspection is a big part of it, obviously. Um, but I mean, do they have any like image? Do they use imaging machines? Like, I mean, do they have anything besides just visual inspection? Yeah, I know. But yeah, I mean, that's the problem. I'm hoping that I don't want to say. I was about to say that men have gotten less stupid. I'm hoping that whole toxic masculinity that kept them from getting help is hopefully beginning to go away because in that it's literally toxic in that case, which is just such a shame. But a lot of is that the whole like cowboy attitude is really bad. So it was like this whole strong, silent, tough, blah blah blah. So yeah, it's just visual inspection, huh? And but you guys like you but you have access to like good sophisticated medical care, right? I mean, so for instance, like where we used to live, it was like farm country in like a really rural area of Connecticut, on the East Coast, and um, it the medical care was fine, but then we moved out here to the San Francisco Bay Area, and it's like we just have this unbelievable number of specialists, and there's very, very sophisticated machinery and technology, and of course, there's all sorts of research going on. So it's really, it's. I remember my ex-husband. We were driving through Vermont one time, and so we're driving through this area where literally it was a gravel road. So it wasn't a dirt road, but it wasn't much better than a dirt road. And we literally were driving for like 20 minutes, seeing nothing but houses, and those weren't very close together. My ex-husband was like, "I'd really like to retire here." And I looked at him and I was like, "Yeah, and so what do you think would happen if like one of us had a heart attack or a stroke? How long do you think it would take for the ambulance to get here? Where is the closest hospital?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah, that's true." And I was like, "Maybe it's just me, because I didn't have MS at that time, so it's not, that isn't why I was thinking that way." But it was like I just, that was like what came to mind. And my parents then wanted to move out. We're talking about moving out to wine country, and I was like, "Okay, so there. Remember how there's one road in 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 the Napa Valley. There's one. I think it was Napa. There was one road, 2-lane road, and it gets completely clogged during the wine harvest season, or I mean, just during the busy tourist season. I'm like, how would you get to a hospital? Especially because it's relatively rural, and they were like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "You guys need to think of these things." Oh no, he didn't. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I had heard that Germany was like really top drawer. It just, sometimes it depends on what area in a country you're in. Cuz like for instance, where we lived, yeah, if we went an hour and a half, I guess maybe, we would be in New Haven, and Yale New Haven has a lot. Um, there's Yale New Haven uh, uh, medical system has for many, many, many years been really good. But I mean, if we had to go to the emergency room, we're not going to be going an hour and a half to Yale New Haven. We're going to a local hospital, which was like 15 minutes down the road. And yeah, it's not Yale New Haven. So yeah, well, that's good. Oh my God. This is, I just, I hope he's okay. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like he's now giving himself a decent shot at this. And he's very lucky to have you bugging him about it, because I'm sure you don't want to think about, what would be going on if you hadn't, like what his chances would be. So yeah, he's very lucky to have you. It's not the easiest thing when you have a partner who's, um, God, that reminds me, I need to get my mammogram. Oh, yeah, it's just like, yeah, I'm one to talk, but I think I got one within the requisite amount of time. I just need to redo it. But I remember when I got diagnosed. So I got diagnosed with MS, and then 3 weeks later I got fired, and then like a couple weeks after that I'd gone for my. I think I was still doing annual mammogram before they changed it and said you don't have to go every year. And they came back and they're like, "Okay, so um we found a oh no, wait, I think my husband maybe also, we knew he was going to lose his job because he was a congressional aide, and the congressman he worked for didn't get reelected." So I was like, yeah, it was like a 1, 2, 3 punch. So they were like, "Yeah, there's a shadow, we need to redo it." And everyone is all my family and everyone is freaking out. And I'm like, "Yeah, no, there's just no way. I know this is completely unscientific, but there is just no way I could have four really bad things happen to me within a month. I'm just refused to believe that. Which, of course, was completely illogical and completely unlike me. But in some ways, it was logical that the likelihood of that many bad things happening in such a short period, I just felt was it was just not likely. So, and I realized again, illogical, but I was just like, nope, not worried about it. Just not. It can't. It like my life can't suck this much in such a short amount of time. Seriously. I mean, like I said, I know it's completely illogical, but I just was like, yeah, I'm not worried. And sure enough, of course, it. Now this is funny because yesterday I knocked him over, didn't I? Um, yeah, I did. Um, so yeah, no, it's just like, nope, 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 nope. Not gonna believe it. Yeah, so I think our healthcare generally in the U.S. generally sucks, to be honest. I mean, the amount of time you have to wait in an emergency room is just appalling. Um, and I'm not talking specifically about the doctors. I just the whole system. And actually, that's a big reason why a lot of doctors are just like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done. The insurers, the health insurance companies make them jump through hoops, do like tons of paperwork. Um, it's just it's yeah, our system kind of yeah, our health just the infrastructure. A lot of hospitals are actually just going out of business. So something's just like not working. But the problem is so many people in the US are like allergic to anything that even sounds at all like the government um um supporting that's not the right word. Subsidizing health insurance or health care. And it's just like, no, this is not the first step to communism. Okay, like chill out. But it's really weird. People are strange. But we do have a horrible system. A lot of people are still underinsured, and it's I mean it's one of the number one causes of death because people are underinsured and then they get these horribly large bills, and they feel helpless as far as as far as being able to take care of it. No, oh my god, that's horrible. That's yeah, okay, so it's not much better. I hope that it improves everywhere because that's there's a lot well there is a lot of bureaucracy in hotels hospitals, like checking you in, all that stuff takes forever. You would think with computers things would not take that long, but I think it also is staffing, and I don't know. I mean, we also are in the US we're very 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 short on nurses, and they don't get paid well enough. They get treated like crap by a lot of the doctors treat them like crap and talk down to them. Um, and so it's hard. It's been hard. I remember when I was pregnant with my son, my husband was working as a consultant, so we were like essentially living in a hotel most of the week. And the hotel then had like, I don't know, 20 nurses who were like kind of temp nurses, like fill-ins for when, well, probably for instance when there were strikes and stuff like that. But I mean, they just there was such a need And this is when the baby boomers weren't necessarily as old as they are now. So, and it hasn't been alleviated. So that shortage. So this is 19 years later, and that shortage, well, 20 years. That shortage is still there. So, um, either the demand has grown faster than the supply of nurses, or um, it just they haven't been able to increase the number of nurses. So yeah, I mean it's kind of sad, but I am sending good thoughts to your fiance and you, and I really hope that things work out. And that's kind of a bummer that they don't have anything besides visual examination. You kind of, I guess. See, the problem is, I mean, I can see why, because like we have MRIs, but they're not that accurate at this point. They're not accurate enough, I think, to pick that up. I wonder if they could. I wonder if temperature changes or something. So, like, I wonder if there's a temperature change, so they could use like thermal imaging or something. I'm sure, I mean, obviously, if that's possible, they would have it. But I'm just curious. I wonder if I would think there might be temperature changes. It'd be pretty slight, but well, hopefully they're being really careful. Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't understand it. My husband says that. So his dad was a doctor, and like I think I had said, and I guess they loved his dad because he treated them well. His My husband's mother was a nurse, and so for whatever reason, if partially that and maybe other reasons, his father did not treat nurses like crap. His father, was respectful to them, and so they loved him. So, which is kind of sad that that the rest of the doctors were treating them so poorly. That's actually really sad. Um, but yeah, it's a really tough job, and as someone who I herniated my discs on the job, I'm constantly wondering, like God, how I wonder how many nurses like herniate their discs, lifting or hurt their backs in other ways lifting patients, because man, that's a very physical job in most cases. I mean, I have a friend who's a surgical nurse, so yeah, she doesn't, you know, she doesn't deal with that, but man, that must be really tough. And people work in nursing homes too, same thing. It's like, oh God, I wonder how often they hurt their backs. So, which, as I said, it's obviously on my radar because of my fun situation. I was helping with commencement today, graduation, and um so we go into the auditorium, and it was like, oh, we have to place all these chairs, lift them off the thing. And my husband wasn't thrilled when he picked me up, and I said that I had been doing that. But I was like, what I'm new to the job. What am I going to do? Be like, oh, sorry, I can't do that. So I'm just going to stand over here and watch the rest of you do it. So I was like, I can't do that. I mean, I could have, especially since it was a work-related injury, granted from a while ago, but I can't do that. So I know he understood, but he still wasn't happy with with me having done that. So my back freaking hurts now. I should probably ice it actually. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have to hand it to nurses. I can't believe they get treated so poorly by patients and doctors. People are stupid. I mean, come on. It's like I think a prevailing attitude is also like, well, if you were smart, you would be a doctor. Well, first of all, um, some people like nursing as they don't want to be doctors. They want to be nurses. They want to have more of a relationship with the patients. Um, and hey, not everyone can afford medical school. It has nothing to do with someone's intelligence or lack thereof. Not everyone wants to go into debt for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And as I said, some people will prefer being nurses because they want more interaction with the patients than a doctor has. So it's just really a shame because what it's doing is probably contributing to this shortage because people realize how badly nurses are treated. And so, what's the incentive then? Unless they really have a passion for it. And then some of them are going to burn out because they're being treated like crap. So, oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's the thing is it's just and mine was stupid. Mine wasn't even taking care of someone. Mine was just opening a window. Unfortunately, it was a really tall window. And we found out later that it hadn't been maintained because there's only one glazier on campus. So there's only one person who does window maintenance and stuff like that. So it hadn't been maintained, like checked, maintained, oiled, whatever they did with it, or they're supposed to do with it for 10 years. And yeah, I was stupid too because my ex-husband herniated a disc by he and his partner were putting a bay window in. So one of those big like three-part windows that sticks out and they had to lean over a bush. So he was leaning and holding this really heavy window and then he herniated his disc. So I had to climb up on this windowsill to open this window. And I had to open the window because the heat was broken on in our room for years. And it had been like 90 degrees the day before. And I was like, it was supposed to be hot again. So the heat was on and outside there's a heat wave. And so I was like, shoot, I better get some cool air in here just to cool the room off before the sun really and the sun was on our wall all day somehow. But I better get some cool air in here. And I climbed up on the ledge and I was leaning over and lifting and I started thinking, "Uh-oh. This was how John hurt his back." And I felt like I can't really describe it. I felt like a like this is going to sound so weird, kind of like a ping, like a rubber band had snapped or something like that. It just, and I sat back on my um heels and I was like, oh crap, because I had the thought, but it was too late because I was already in motion. Yeah, of course, and the number of times nurses catch a mistake that a doctor makes and get crap for it. Um, I think some of them just develop the right attitude where it's like, yeah, this person's a jerk, but there are plenty of people who appreciate me and aren't jerks. So, and I think some of the young doctors learn that not to have that attitude because people are like, yeah, you don't want to piss the nurses off, really. Um, it's kind of like when I was a secretary and working for a group of people, and the young managers would start, and they'd be like ordering me around, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm the one who answers your phone because this was before cell phones. I'd be thinking, I'm the one who answers your phone, and that includes your personal calls. And you don't want to be treating me like crap. You really don't. And eventually they'd learn. um, Sometimes it take a little while. But I don't know. I just, people dump on service people all the time, and it's just the stupidest thing in the world. Oh, you too. And like I said, best wishes. I'll have my fingers crossed. And yeah, so I think we're gonna do it. So but you'll get well, you won't get a notification on mine, but so yeah, hopefully. But have a good evening. Okay, take care. It was really nice talking to you, by the way. I think I'm probably going to end this stream, even though I'm having fun because it is an hour and a quarter. So I'll probably, what time is it? It's 1. So I'll probably take a break. Maybe play something offline. I'm not sure. Maybe read, do some cleaning, some of the stuff I'm supposed to be doing. um, and then, um, and then I'll definitely be streaming, as usual, 2 hours of House Flipper. 2 streams of House Flipper tonight, but I may do something in the meantime. So anyway, um, oh my God, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce your name, Das SD. Um, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Everyone else who either stopped by or is watching the VOD, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope that you're enjoying this update because I definitely am. I wouldn't mind if it were a little brighter colors, but that's just me. So, yeah, I hope you're doing well, taking care of yourselves and those you love, and reaching out for help when you feel you need it, because that's really important. And as we were talking about, mental health, yes, it is a taboo topic still in many cases, but don't let that stop you from getting help because that's probably like one of the worst reasons. So please take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.